Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is Nikki here. So today I have a different kind of video. I've got a PR package. Right, can I just say, it's so exciting being on Huda Beauty's PR list. It just is, and it's like I feel like it's like an influencer's dream. Anyway, I'm on the Huda Beauty PR list, and these matte and metal melted shadows came today. How stunning are they? First of all, I've heard about them, but they look very much like liquid lipsticks to me. And I don't know if you can use them on the lips. I don't see why not, but these are insane. I did a couple of swatches on my Instagram stories. If you guys follow me there, if you don't, I'll leave the link down below. But today I thought it'd be fun just to try these out on camera. And I asked you guys if you wanted to see it, and you were like, yeah, you want to see a review on them. So I'm just going to try them out. I love them. You get 5 different colours. You get a matte shade on one side, and then you get a metallic shade on the other. I'm going to put up some swatches that I put up earlier just so you guys can see. When I did the swatches, these literally don't move. They are smudge proof. They're not smudge proof, they're smudge proof. They don't move. They are insane, and they are heavily pigmented. My favorite side would probably be the metallic side, because I love a little bit of glimmer, shimmer for the festive season. I think it's beautiful, and I like the mattes as well. I also like the choice of colors, because there's kind of nudes, but then she's got a hint of color, and I think if these do well, she'll probably bring out different ones. I think a black one in this, like a black matte and a black shimmery, would do really well as well. Okay, so the reason why I've got Bollywood jewelry on is just because these metallic shades are going to go so nicely with my set. I've got the nude shades here because, I mean, why wouldn't I? And I love nudes. I think my favorite out of the bunch is Private Jet and Shimmering Sunset. So I'm going to start off with this melted eyeshadow. I'm going to start off with Private Jet, which is the matte shade. And I'm going to pop this all over the lids. And then I'm just going to buff this out and see how nicely it works. Just to buff it out, buff that matte shade out into the crease. Okay, what I would say is that I've layered these twice now because I didn't know if I could go too thick, and I wanted to go in thin layers, which I think is the best to do. They blend out really nicely. They also layer on top of each other really nicely, surprisingly, and they don't lift. You don't want to put wet product on top of dry product. That's the only thing I would say, and just be gentle with it. But you get a really nice kind of rosy smoke, which I like. I wish they did a brown color now, because I think this all over the lid just in a brown would be amazing. But overall, I'm happy with the matte shade. I'm going to take Private Jet again, the matte shade that we've popped on the lid, and I'm going to pop a little bit on my lower lash line, and then just use the same brush just to blend this out. What I love about this product is it literally doesn't move, so it's just going to be beautiful. We're just going to quickly smoke out our lower lash line with this. One thing I would say, guys, is these are crazily convenient. Like, the matte shade looks so pretty on its own. With a bit of mascara, you'd be good to go. If you're someone that also travels, you ain't gonna have your pans, like your eyeshadow pans, breaking on you through travel because they're in liquid form. And yeah, I've not got a bad thing to say about them. Okay, initially, guys, I did want to just test out the melted shadows on my eyes just to show you what they're like. However, for my look, I do want a little bit of depth in the crease, and I don't feel like there's a dark enough kind of earthy-ish colour in these melted shadows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Huda Beauty new nude eyeshadow palette, and we can test out what powder works like on top and if the powder blends nicely. So I'm actually going to be taking the shade Raw and just a tiny bit of that. I'm going to pop this into the crease and then create more of like an outward V just in the corner, just to create a little bit of depth and shape to my eyes. Also going to take a little bit of that shade and just blend it on my lower lash line. Okay guys, so that eyeshadow is blended perfectly on top, which boggles my mind, because you could use these melted shadows as like a base, put down a lighter colour or a shimmery colour, and then you could work matte on top of it. They don't flake, they don't lift, they don't do anything. They kind of just have a really nice strong pigment, which I like. It may just be me, or it may just be my choice of colour, but I felt like I was packing that colour on quite a bit for it to show on top of the colour that I've put down. So Raw needed to be packed on a little bit on top of Private Jet, a little bit more than I would probably usually do if I was working straight on to just kind of like a blank colour or concealer. But that doesn't bother me at all. And I think this palette, the new nude palette, actually works really nicely with the melted shadows as well. Okay, now I'm excited for the metal side. What I want to do is I want to create like a shimmer in the inner corner, just for it to be glistening, but more of like a half cut crease, but blended out, if that's what makes sense. but I can't decide between all of the metallic nudes. So what I'm thinking is I have Shimmering Sunset, Pink Champagne and Bamboo Hoops. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop them on the back of my hand, all three of them, mix them together, and then that's going to be my metallic shade. I'm going to take a flat brush just to pick the metal side up and then pack it on into my inner third of my eye. Okay, they look bomb. Like, they look wet, and I like the fact that it is mostly sparkles of glitter. Makes your eyelids look foiled, but what I like about them the most is I do like cut creases. I have a love-hate relationship with them, but this looks like a half cut crease, but it's not bam, like, oh, it's straight edged. It kind of blends out into the crease, which I like about it, and they're so easy to layer and blend. What I would say is don't layer too much because I think they can get a bit flaky. On my hand they did, but on my eyes they work like a dream. Now you guys know that I love me an inner corner highlighter, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the metal side in Bamboo Hoops, which is the goldest metallic shade, and I'm going to use it just straight from the applicator. We're going to pop it into the inner corners and then just use a small detailer brush to help blend this out. Okay, so I think personally for me, because I'm not like an applicator kind of person, I feel like using a brush or just taking the product off with a brush and then popping it on works a little bit better for me. I feel like I have a little bit more control, and that way I don't add too much product. I feel like if you go straight in with the applicator, because obviously it's new, it's going to have a lot of product on and you can't control it. With the metals, definitely just layer thinly. Do not apply a thick load because you don't want it to get kind of creasy, or when you put too much of a glitter product on top, it kind of congeals. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that. It congeals. Overall, I love the melted shadows. I think they are worth the purchase. I think from a price point, Huda Beauty products for me are always going to be a little bit more expensive, but you get what you pay for. The quality of their products are insane, and I think for someone that's on the go, it's really easy. Like, I didn't use many products and the eye is done. So I'm going to move on to the face. I'm just going to bake underneath my eyes really quickly just to set my concealer in place. We're going to be using the Huda Beauty. This is the Sugar Cookie Easy Bake Loose Powder. Just with her Easy Bake brush, I'm going to dab the product on underneath my eye and then swipe it away. I feel like we might as well Huda Beauty ourselves out. So I'm going to go into the Golden Sands. This is a 3D highlighter palette. And then I'm going to take Tahiti and I'm going to just highlight my cheekbones and highlight down the center of my face to give me a nice glow that's going to go with my popping eyes. Moving back to eyes, I'm just going to quickly pop on the Huda Beauty. These are the Farah lashes. I'll pop on a little bit of mascara and then chuck these bad boys on just to finish the eyes. Now that lashes are on, let's add a little bit of mascara just on the bottom lashes. For lips now, let's go ahead and use Huda Beauty's lip contour in the shade Trendsetter. I'm just going to line my lips and fill my lips a little bit in with this. Now the colour's a little bit too nude. I want it to be a little bit more pinky. So I'm going to go in with Huda Beauty's Liquid Matte in the shade Sugar Mama. Pop this on the top and then just use a brush to blend it out. And then guys, I'm just going to add a little gloss. And then guys, just for a finished touch, I'm just going to pop a Bindi on to complete this look. Okay guys, so that is it. Let me know what you think of these eyes down below. It was super quick, super easy. I didn't use a lot of colours, but you get an eye that you look like you spent a lot of time on and you know what you're doing. So I would highly recommend these melted shadows. I'm not getting sponsored to do this at all, but I do just genuinely really like them. I especially like the glitters because I think foiled shadows in a glitter form are really nice. They're not loose, you're not getting loads of glitter fallout, and that's what I really like about them. I would say the applicators I don't necessarily love, just because I don't love applicators. I like to apply them with a brush, but nonetheless, I'm not moaning about it. I like them a lot. Let me know down below what you thought. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Love you guys. Mwah.